All right, ladies, gents, boys, and gals, and anything in between, really. Um, According to YouTube analytics, it is mostly women. But anyway, today we're going to be looking at, again, more of this sort of content. We're going to be looking at Megan Ann's video on this person here, this lovely, amazing person that just happens to say that if you're no longer fat, then you might as well be dead. So that's nice. But I will not explain my 2 year hiatus, and this is also my like my fourth attempt on recording this because I could not figure out my settings. So that was nice. Lots of screw ups, but whatever. Anyway, her video is about 30 minutes long, and of course, credit to her as well. You know, that's why I'm mentioning her name. Um, but I could not find the original video, so I'm using hers. Hopefully, she doesn't mind. I don't think so. That's kind of what free use is anyway. But um, yeah, well, let's just get right to it.
To treat every fat creator who has freshly turned into a weight loss influencer as if they've died.
So immediately, as you can see, she just kind of sounds like a very happy human being, correct? You know, immediately going off and basically saying that you're nothing to me if you decided to lose weight for whatever reason. Maybe it's, you know, jealousy or something similar. You know, I don't know. Yeah, whatever floats people's boats these days. You know, but if I had to guess, it's probably something to do with that. It's more of an envy thing, but you know, I mean, it's not like she can't do it either. It's just kind of that I guarantee you that she doesn't want to take accountability of herself, and she doesn't want to. They would kind of prefer to pretend like their body is a sort of detachment of themselves, and it has nothing to do with what they themselves are, I guess, is how you would put that.
Like, they were talking about their journey from body positivity into fat acceptance as like a delusion that they were holding, that they do in fact have full control over their body and their fatness, and it's their responsibility to lose weight, and everyone else should lose weight too. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, she's dead now. I don't care what anyone does with their body. It's when people start dictating to others, especially fat people, what they should be doing with their bodies that I draw the line. And it's a reminder again about why at liberation, it doesn't.
Jesus.
That I draw the line. And it's a reminder again about why, unless it's fat liberation, it doesn't mean shit.
So to be honest, I'm not actually really sure what kind of side we're supposed to be taking here. Um, cause it sounds like okay, cause at face value to me, fat liberation sounds like you don't want to be fat anymore. But then she was saying earlier that if you're fat, if you're fat and you lose weight, you're dead to me. I'm assuming that's mostly because it's like, oh, you're turning your back on your community. It's not exactly because, oh, you lost weight. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that it is that. And sorry, by the way, if you heard me fiddling with some things in the background, I need to get back into this. But yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like. And I will be including some of Megan Ann's thoughts as well because, you know, I think that's just respectful. I don't see why I would cut out all her parts and just basically have her staring at the screen for no reason. I don't obviously want to take her whole video. I feel like that's kind of messed up, but I will let her get her thoughts into it because, you know, I just think that's kind of the respectful way of really doing it.
Fat liberation, it doesn't mean shit.
So that is the video that Angelica was responding to when I first came to know about this whole situation. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna now play the video that this creator was responding to from Angelica.
I remember going on my first diet when I was in kindergarten because my doctor told me I was overweight. So from childhood up until I would say my early 20s, I was always on some sort of diet and hated how I looked. At about 18 years old, I had my first outbreak of an autoimmune disorder, and I gained a lot of weight from being on steroids, which led me to finding the body positivity community online. During the lockdown,
You know, I have actually heard of that. You know, that happens a lot. People tend to find this community in terms of not in terms, in moments of, you know, weakness, and they need people to confide in, people that like, hey, that person looks like me. I like that person, you know. I want to be around that person because they look just like me. I get it, you know. Everybody wants to do that. That's fine. And to be honest, I'm not sure why I'm yapping about this. It's not really to blame her for joining at all. That's not what this is for. Ah, that's right. I was gonna say no. Yeah, I agree. I think most of us, if not all of us, especially me, when we were younger, we did not like how we looked at all. But you know, it happens, and that's just kind of something that we need to get across. And you can either, you know, I'm just gonna say it. You can either lock the fuck in, and you know, do something about it, or basically say, "Woe was me my whole entire life," and pretend like you have no control. That's up to you.
Finding the body positivity community online. During the lockdown, I started learning a lot about fat acceptance, and I fell into that community. I ballooned up to 270 pounds, thinking that my genetics were what's making me fat. It made me feel so helpless and like I was trapped in this body. And it once again made me feel like I had no control over my body and what it looked like. It made me feel resentful towards anyone that was in a smaller body.
And there you go. That's what I was talking about earlier. They tend to basically hate anybody that's not them, and that is unfortunately the mindset that is kind of ingrained and essentially echo chambered in their community, is to, you know, hate everything that's not you, basically, which doesn't make any sense because a lot of their mottos are also love yourself no matter what and who you are, and anybody is beautiful, you know, but but fuck that guy in particular, you know, like everyone's cool, but except for that guy, because he's not fat. Fuck him, you know, he's not cool, not him.
Involved in the fat acceptance movements for a couple of years, I started getting recommended anti-fat acceptance videos on YouTube and started watching them. I had a come to Jesus moment. It made me realize that, yeah, I was fat because of what I was eating and that I wasn't moving. My genetics was not an excuse for being my size. While that does seem kind of mean and a little harsh, it made me realize that I do have control over what I look like and how I feel about myself, which is why at 27, I have decided to learn what a healthy lifestyle is and lose weight.
You know, and that I'm gonna be moving in and out of my mic because I don't know if I'm too loud or too quiet, but that is a good point for people to know that, you know what, you do have control over yourself. You know, it's not, you know, you're not born in a body that's genetically designed to make you fat your whole life. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and deny and say that, oh, you know, our bodies are not designed to hold weight, but that doesn't mean that you cannot lose it. Yes, we were designed to be able to hold weight, and that's why even if you work out more and more and more and keep running and doing exercise, you won't burn more weight. Eventually, you'll be burning the same amount as since when you started, even though you have gotten better at it. That's just kind of how it works. It wouldn't be technically, you know, evolutionarily advantageous to lose a bunch of weight if you were trying to find food. You get what I mean? I don't know if that made any sense, but it's a very real thing. I maybe didn't get it across as how I would liked it, but you know, and if anybody needs any help or ideas on how really to, you know, live what is a healthy lifestyle and things like that, obviously I'm no ambassador on this topic at all. I did used to weigh a lot. I did used to weigh a lot, over 300 pounds, by the way, like almost, I think I want to say 350. Yeah, almost like 340, 350, something like that. But you know, obviously I've locked the fuck in and changed it, and that was 350 at like 5'9", 5'10", I think. So yeah, it is definitely. I've lost a lot. Right now I'm clocking in at about 250, and I'm 6'2". So I think that's a lot better. I don't know. That might just be me, but you know, I want to lose more. Then again, I am tall, but you know, I've done it. I can help people. Although, if you don't listen to me or give a fuck, I don't blame you. I'm just a random guy on the internet. But if you're in the comments and you're like, oh, you know, I don't know what to do, like, hey, you know, I would have asked literally anybody else on this planet, but I'd be willing to give tips on what I did. because, I did it. A lot of people did it. So, point is, so can you, is what I'm trying to get at.
Wait, for some reason right now it feels different than any diet that I've been on. I'm not stressed out and I'm not judging myself. I'm just making small changes in hopes to live the best life that I can. And I hope that you know that you can do the same thing too.
Video that the first creator was talking about. And before I move on to Angelica's response, I do just want to give my thoughts on these two while I have them in my brain before I lose them, because I will lose them. First off, I think Angelica's video is just super honest and great. She talks a lot about a lot of things that I think a lot of people who have decided to lose weight can relate to. Like, she was talking about how she realized that she could change what she looked like. She could change how she felt for the most part with her weight, and so she decided to do something about it. And that's literally exactly what my thought process was when I decided to have weight loss surgery 6 years ago now. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. 6 years ago. And because I remember I was thinking one night and I was like, Megan, what's the one thing in your life that's bothering you the most right now? And can you change it? And it was my weight. And I was like, yeah, you can change that.
And not to cut her off, but yes, that is actually a fine approach as well. If somebody wants to do weight loss surgery, be my guest. At the end of the day, it's your life, not mine. If you can afford to do so and you are in the position to do so, and if that is what you want, then why not? I'm not going to see it as a magic cheat pill and that, oh, you're cheating because you went the easy way. It's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You feel better, you look better, you feel more like yourself, happier than you have in years. I know that's true for me. When I was heavier, I did not like life at all. I think most of you, if you were in that situation, you can agree, because society tends to not treat you very well when you're kind of big. They don't like you. And that's shitty, but that's just the truth. But yeah, you can do that. Nobody's gonna sit there and judge you for that. If you want to take that route, that's good, because you're doing what most of us want to see. Us that yap about these things, and me specifically, because I'm not just some dude that has never gone through any of this and is just shitting on everyone and being a bystander. No, I've gone through this stuff. I understand how it is. So me seeing people do that surgery or take steps like that to make it easier, I'm all for it, because guess what? We just want to see you live longer, dude. We just want to see you succeed and be happier. We don't want to see people miserable and hate how they look and hate life because of how you look, And it's unfortunate that that's how our society functions, and that is what is seen as whether you are not a good person or whether you are deserving to be treated as a good person. It sucks that that's how it is, but it is what it is, and that's all we want to see. At least that's what I would say, but I mean, I guess we're all different, right? I think.
It was causing me a lot of health issues. It was causing me just a lot of physical, mental issues. And so I was like, something's got to give. I've tried everything I tried everything up until this point except surgery. And so I decided to go the surgical route. I don't know. She called it a come to Jesus moment, just like a click moment. I just kind of woke up a little bit and I was like, hey, I don't have to feel miserable all the time. I can do something about it. And so I was really happy that she phrased it like that, because I do feel like a lot of people who make the decision to go on a weight loss journey, lose a significant amount of weight, whatever, I think we all kind of have that moment, whatever it is. So I was happy that she talked about that. And I also was really happy that she phrased it in that she's not going crazy, tracking her food, doing any of that. She's just doing small sustainable steps to help her live the best life possible.
And by the way, that is very important. You really want to take your time and I know for me, my, as she put it, her come to Jesus moment, I know for me, that wasn't exactly a instant, overnight it happened. That for me, I've had that moment like 4 times in my life where I was like, okay, I really gotta, I really gotta do it. I really gotta do it. I really gotta do it. But I wasn't ready. And that's okay. I really wasn't ready because I couldn't commit to it. But this time around, about 2 years ago, oh yeah, well, whoever is a genius at math can figure out that kind of time frame compared to my older videos. But yeah, around that time, I was like, oh man, like this sucks. I can't commit to this stuff. So what I did is you got to start small. Okay, I'm not gonna yap a lot about this because there's a whole video in of itself because it's not complicated, but it's a lot of yapping. But basically, what I did was I would just cut in as many protein variable options as possible. For example, you like waffles? Okay, go for fucking Kodiak, the brand protein pancakes or waffles. Like, am I saying that's good? It's iffy, but it's way better than regular pancakes, if that makes sense. So like, for example, you want an Oreo cheesecake. Okay, well, how about you make that Oreo cheesecake at home by yourself with protein ice cream scoops with ice and zero sugar, whatever you want to put on there. You get what I'm saying? Little things like that, they add up. They add up a lot. Same thing, a tip that I would do if you like to drink juices and things like that. Obviously, try to drink mostly water. I know everyone says that, but it's true. It's better for you. But in the event that you do want to drink something sweet, water it down. I don't care how nasty it tastes. Water it down. I know for me, I was able to eventually hate the taste of super sweet things because I just did not like that. After a while of watering things down and eventually drinking a lot of water, I hated it. And that's fine, So now, for example, let's see. Let's get Minute Maid. Okay. Minute Maid, fruit punch, lemonade, whatever. That brand specifically. You take that bad boy, and I would do a cup. I don't know how much a cup is. What is it? 225 milliliters, something like that. You would take a cup, 3/4 of that water, and then 1/4 of that is juice. So, okay, now instead of a full cup of juice, which is like, I don't know, 200 calories, right? Now a fourth of that, you're looking at, what, 50 calories? Not even. And you have still the same amount of drink. It's just not as sweet. And eventually, in enough time, you will like that. And that's what I did. And that helped a lot too. Just water everything down. Go for zero variance, things like that. No one's telling you to have to count calories every single day of your life. Just be a mindful eater. Just watch every little thing that you eat and just say, I don't need to count this, but is there a healthier version of this that I can have that is almost the same, if not identical, but way better for me in every single way? That is what you want to look for. That is the key to me, anyway.
I've done everything, both post-op and before surgery, in terms of going insanely hard, not doing anything at all. And I have found the most success when I am like just making little changes to my meals and stuff like that, because it just becomes a lot less overwhelming. And so I'm happy that she phrased it that way too. And Angelica also, I believe, used to post fat activism, like body positivity, fat acceptance ish content, and so that's why the other creator was like so up at arms. And so I don't know, I just loved the way that Angelica approached this topic. Like, I think it is chill, not putting anybody down at all. And so the reaction that this got from this other creator, S, was very weird to me, but also not surprising. Very like disappointing, but not surprising. I think it's funny whenever whenever these creators go on about how they don't agree with someone losing weight, it's like turning their back on a community. It's like blah blah blah, like talking down on people who decide to lose weight who were once in the fat activism community. And then they immediately follow it up with, but I support anybody's right to do whatever they want with their body. Like, you hear what you're saying? Like, first of all, because just to be able to so succinctly contradict yourself in like one sentence is just really funny to me. And so, yeah, I think this got blown way out of proportion because Angelica's very much just talking about her personal experience and is not projecting that on anybody else. But fat activists do what fat activists do online, and they project it onto themselves. And I should mention too that the original, like the response that Angelica was responding to from S, the caption was, "R.I.P. Angelica, we are about liberation and accessibility, and you've gone and told on yourself." Tombstone emoji. So yeah, so after
Lovely.
that response, Angelica responded with this.
Now on, I am just going to treat every fat creator who has freshly turned into a weight loss influencer as if they've died. Yesterday, I had to block a mutual who had posted a video that I at first thought was satire. Like, they were talking about their journey from body positivity into fat acceptance as like a delusion that they were holding.
Okay, much better. We have less people on screen now. Um, there's a whole party here. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why am I talking about this when it is clearly outdated and this was probably like 6 months ago, and by the time you're watching it, could have been a year ago. I don't know. Why? Uh, just cause, I guess. I mean, what they said was pretty fucked up. So, you know, why not? They deserve. Well, maybe they don't deserve to be criticized, but you can't say something like that and expect nobody to continue to blame you for it. Like, obviously, I'm not saying it's a crime against humanity, but um, I think it deserves coverage still either way. It's not like, and sorry if anybody of you are affected by this. It's not 9/11. Nobody needs to, like, for example, it's not 9/11. Like, everybody doesn't need to. Can I even say that? I don't know. I think I'm gonna quit yapping with that.
So respectful when talking about my journey. When I talked about my journey in my video, I was very authentic and very vulnerable. But in case you didn't see that video, I will sum it up, maybe even elaborate, because I don't know why she's thinking it was so negative. In my video, I mentioned that I went on my first diet when I was in kindergarten because I was told I was overweight by my doctor. And then, flash forward to about 18 years old, I had an outbreak of my autoimmune disorder. It was my first one. And my autoimmune disorder is called HSP vasculitis. Look it up. It's pretty rare. All of the blood vessels in the bottom half of my legs, the calves, literally exploded. And I had open wounds all the way down from my knees to my feet.
I did not know that.
I still have scars on my legs to this day. I couldn't even show pictures of it on TikTok because it honestly looks like something that came out of a horror movie. And when that was happening, the doctors could not figure out what was wrong with me for a very long time. So I was on steroids and opioids until everything calmed down. And during that time, I gained a lot of weight. I had stretch marks. I felt literally disgusting because my skin was rotting off of me. And during that time, I learned about the body positivity movement. And during that time, I found a lot of comfort and love in the idea of knowing that I have value no matter what I look like, even if I could not love myself in that moment. And I continued being in that body positivity for quite a long time until I found the fat liberation movement, which a lot of us did on TikTok during the lockdown. And again, I found a lot of comfort and safety in that community for years. I never thought it was like some weird psychosis or delusion. It was reality. But as the years went on, I started to realize I didn't really like this community and how they treated other people. And I don't like how this person is treating me or talking about my story.
It's like a delusion that they were holding, that they do in fact have full control over their body and their fatness, and it's their responsibility to lose weight, and everyone else should lose weight too.
See, the thing is, when you are in the fat acceptance movement, they say things like, your genetic makeup is responsible for why you are fat, or
Only partly true. At least that's what I would say. I I think obviously it has a major effect. Some people can, just kind of do whatever they want and never gain weight, and others can look at food and gain 50 pounds overnight. Now, is this to say that, like, oh, people can't do what they want? Like, oh, I can't, live my life because I'm just going to gain weight no matter what? It's not true. I mean, people have to take accountability. For example, if you really want to know how you're gaining weight, even though you feel like you're not eating very much, for a day, preferably for a week, but for a day, track down every little thing that you eat. And I'm including the sauces, I'm including the drinks, I'm including everything. Include everything, and you will see that you ate more than what you thought you ate, especially if you eat with some sort of form of entertainment or distracted. You will see immediately that you eat more than you think. And that's why some people think that they have no control over it because, oh, I eat so little, but I gain so much weight. You eat more than you think. And I think that can be said for almost everyone, if I had to say that.
Or fat people can't control that they are fat, and like diets don't work, and intake outtake isn't real. So when you are involved in these movements, you start to think, I'm so helpless over what I look like in my health. What my body looks like is already determined. And in reality, it's not. My genetics didn't make me fat. Me, during the lockdown,
Bingo.
not moving, not going outside, not seeing any friends, eating boxes of pasta by myself, only drinking Diet Dr. Pepper is why I was fat. Never in that video did I say, well, it's my responsibility to lose the fatness. I came to the conclusion that my life is in my control, whether that is my career, my appearance, how much I weigh, my friends, what I'm doing. So guess what? I wanted to work on my health, especially my mental health, because at that time I literally wanted to unalive myself because of all the isolation during the lockdown. My mental health was so bad. So I started seeing a psychiatrist. I got prescribed the right medication. Then I was finally in a good enough mood to start taking my health seriously. So I cut out the Diet Dr. Pepper and I started drinking water. And then slowly I started eating more protein, which these changes literally took years for me to do. During all of those changes, I simultaneously lost weight. I wasn't doing it on purpose until a couple months ago. I decided to take my weight loss a little bit more seriously. In my video, you can go back and watch it. It's still up and still getting tons of hate comments. Nowhere in that fucking video do I say every fat person should take responsibility and lose weight. The whole video was about me and my experience. Not one time did I make a generalization about fat people. Not one time did I degrade them or say anything mean or harass anyone. I literally talked about my journey. It took a lot of courage to post that video because I knew exactly this would happen. When you talk about leaving communities, instead of being like, okay, bye, it was nice having you, they want to start bullying you. And what does that say about a community that just bullies everyone that leaves? I'm more of a libertarian than any of these fat liberation activists because I don't give a flying fuck about what anyone does with their body as long as they're not harming other people. You could go starve yourself. You could go eat 3 boxes of pizza. I don't care because it's not my life. I want everyone to have the best life that they can, but that's out of my control.
To lose weight, and everyone else should lose weight too. So as far as I'm concerned, she's dead now. I don't care what anyone does with their body.
That is literally a fucking lie. That is literally a lie and hypocritical. You do give a fuck. You will literally bash and bully this person just because they did something that you didn't like with their body. That doesn't necessarily make sense. Also, does it piss anybody else off how she looks at the camera with like a condescending glare? Is it just me? Am I the only one that gets pissed the fuck off by that? Maybe. I don't know. Like the way she was looking at it, like, and then talking about this girl, she was like, yeah, I don't care. And like, I'm not gonna mock her, but like, damn, dude, like, that you're fucking evil.
Will start dictating to others, especially fat people, what they should be doing with their bodies, that I draw the line.
Again, nowhere in my fucking video did I say every fat person should lose weight. Everyone should do this. I ended the video with a very inspiring message, and all I said was, and you can do this too. You can do it if you want. I'm not saying you should. I'm not holding this up to your head telling you to do this. Because guess what? We're all adults here, and we can all do whatever we want, which includes me.
It's a reminder again about why, unless it's fat liberation, it doesn't mean shit.
And once again, I will say it. I do not care what you do with your body. I don't care about what you look like. I don't care if you're fat. I don't care if you're skinny. I don't care if you're mid-sized. You, me, and everyone else can do whatever the flying fuck they want. Of course, this person blocked me, so I couldn't see this video on my own. One of my mutuals just sent it to me, and I assume that's probably where all of the hate comments came from yesterday.
I don't think I have to say here with Angelica's response that like we are so totally just like on the same wavelength in terms of like all of this, because I think I don't want to say recently, but I think maybe like last year I started making it like abundantly clear in my videos because I was gaining more traction and getting more subscribers, which were over 80,000, guys. Insane. Anyways, that's like very close to 100.
Okay, so I just watched most of that. Okay, alright, I've been yapping for 31 minutes. That is way too long. So I've watched a little bit forward into this, and she just kind of talks about her own thing going on. If she was going to talk about the video, then, you know, I'd include it, but at that point, that's mostly her content, so yeah. Anyway, I guess I'm back, kinda. I mean, I wouldn't expect daily uploads at all. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard, you know. I work all the time. Takes up most of my time. Then I have to work out, and then I have friends to deal with. I have people to take care of, people to care about, health issues to worry about amongst my family, you know, specifically my mother. I will not talk about it, but it takes its toll. But I will try to continue to talk more about things like that, make more videos, just because I genuinely enjoy it, you know, just talking about this stuff and seeing people's point of views on these sort of situations, and especially because I've been through it, you know, I can kind of relate. But yeah, I think it's all right. I don't know if you can hear that wind. It's very windy. I did move, by the way. 2 years ago, I was not living in the same spot. I did move, so a lot has changed. But I can expect to be back. This video is gonna be way too long if I keep yapping. So I guess that's it. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Gals. It's mostly gals, like I said. I think I checked my analytics and it was I think it was about 70% women or something like that. There's a lot. There's a lot of you. Why is that? I'm not really sure. I guess that's just who it mostly appeals to. Not a big deal. Who cares? If y'all want to hear me yap, go for it, you know? But yeah, that's basically it. I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully. You can let me know in the comments what you think about this. If you like this sort of situation. I also tried to not just basically copy and paste her video and claim it as mine. I'm not that fucked up. But, you know, I have to use something, so yeah. But anyway, I'm out. That was corny as a motherfucker. Alright. I'm done. Fucking damn 35 minutes of yapping. I'm gonna go fucking pet my dog or something. I don't know.